Hello and welcome to the video for G7, the grammar test about the perfect tense. As you can see, there are three sections. The first section is about identifying the tense in English. Second section is about identifying the tense in Latin. And the third section pulls it all together as usual with the personal endings as well. Okay, for question one, working out what the English tense is, if we go across to my little master over here, I can see that the imperfect tense in English is was or were something-ing. The perfect tense is the simple past tense with ed on the end, like kicked, or has or have kicked. That's also perfect. And the present tense, I haven't put it here, but it's just happening now, so kicks or is kicking would be the present tense. So going back over here, I think we can probably work this one out. That Betty the Dragon burned, that's got ed on the end, there we are, so that would be the perfect tense, a simple past. Next one, were blazing, that was, as we can look over here, were something-ing, so it's the imperfect. Suddenly started, that's ed on the end, so that's the perfect tense. And then Loughton lives, well, it lives now, so present tense. That's the first section done. The second question is quite tricky and quite hard to pass in a way, but there are some simple ways of analysing the verbs to work out how to get them into the right column. If we go across here to this thing here we are. This is my suggestion. You start by looking at the ending and looking for ba, bat or bant, or erat, erant. If you get those, you know it's the imperfect tense. Then if it isn't one of these two, you look for V, S, X or U, very sexy underwear, hence the Y fronts, or a long vowel, a vowel that's longer than the present tense is, the word you learn in the vocab lists, or an extra syllable. And those are all signs that it's the perfect tense. And if it isn't those, if it's something else, if it's just ordinary, then it's the present tense. So let's have a go and see how that works in the wild, as it were, with question 2 on this sample test. So the method is as follows. Number 1, you look for the imperfect signs, and those, as I said, are the bat, or bant sometimes, and the erat, erant. So let's put those into the imperfect column. So we can write decaybat. These are the easy ones, the low-hanging fruit to get rid of early on, and then errant as well. So let's get rid of those. There we are. That's the first step. Step 2, if you remember, we're looking for one of these letters just before the ending, or possibly a long vowel or an extra syllable sometimes, but more rarely. So let's look at these. We have a V here. We have an X here. We have an X here. And there are 4, aren't there? So we're looking around and we see a long vowel here. The usual word is fac. Faciunt, okay, they make. Facerant, long vowel, that makes it the perfect tense. So that's our 4th one. So let's write those in. In the right one, of course. Excuse me. Lucky I've got an eraser on this software. So dormiuit with a V, dixit with an X, intellexerant with an X again, and then facerant, we don't need to write the long thing in. That's our perfect tenses. And we can cross those off, as we already have done. So finally, we can just see that the rest of them are going to be present. He or she is, she's asleep, they make or do, and then he understands, intelligit. Usually there are kind of pairs you can look at here. So if we see it again, we've got the intelligit is the present tense, then the X is the perfect tense. Dormiwit is the present tense, so dormit is present tense, then dormiwit with the V is the perfect. We've got dkbat, that DIC is the present or the ordinary stem of the word, and then with the X it's perfect. So you see, I tried to show when setting these how you can use the other words on the test to see what the differences are to spot your VSXU or long syllable. Right, that's the second section. Right, for the third section, again we're matching up the sentences. You can work out the easy ones first. So we have an S here, and you ought to remember from stage 4 that the S means you. Remember OST, IU, he. We have a U over there, so let's join those two up, okay? Now for the other three here, we've got, what have we got? We've got a he or she there with T, and a T there as well. And we've got a she and a he here. This one though is NT, isn't it? And that's they. Remember stage 5, NT means they. So we can join those two up. So we've got the two here, we're not quite sure which way around they are. Let's go back over here to the top left, and we see that the BA is the imperfect tense and means was something-ing. Okay, so applying that back to here, we've got a BA there and a was overpowering there, so let's join those up. Okay, and then we've got a simple perfect tense here, superannual wit, that's the ED form from the top left again without going over there, and we have a he overpowered there, so they go together as well. And there we go, that's the final section. We've passed G7.